Hey, what it do, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're just having a great day. So right now I'm up in that field where we made all those hay bales last week. And as some of you may remember, in that video, we had a piece on the baler drop down and get pretty much cut in half, and we never found it. So I'm gonna slowly start taking these bales down to our animals. Right now I'm gonna take this one to our bull. I'm gonna go ahead and grab another bale and take it to our steers and see if they'll actually eat it. So unless we find that piece, that's not gonna be what today's video is about. I'm going to be working on another piece of equipment. I haven't decided whether it's the sickle style mower, the grader, or the seed drill. So after I move some of these hay bales, I'm gonna go for a little ride, try to figure out which one I wanna work on today. And as always, there may be something else that squeaks its way into this video, but hope you guys enjoy it. Let's go ahead and jump on into it and let's roll. Whereas the 3-strand bales, well, those are another story. You're not the #1 fan of weed hay? You don't like it?
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree.
But the more I look
there's
at it,
roots where I stand.
ton of service points in here.
Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
Alright, so let's go ahead and make our way underneath the tractor. See if this beautiful little piece of it is
Pacing on a sleepless night. Trying to catch me howling at the moon.
Tell you what though, these weed bales, they are pretty nice. You can lift them with one arm. They're not super heavy. Whereas the 3-strand bales, well, those are another story. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up these bales out here because I am looking for that metal piece still. And if it is somewhere inside one of these bales, I don't want to release it inside there. You're not the #1 fan of weed hay? You don't like it? Well, I don't think our bull is the #1 fan of this weed hay, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in there anyways because I don't really have a need for it. And if he decides to snack on it at some point during the day, then that's okay. Goats tend to be a little bit less picky. Let's see how they do. Not too interested in weeds either. We're gonna go ahead and try and feed it to the weird little combo we got going on right here. We got our little steer, we got our male goat. I think it's safe to say that this is gonna be a big negative. Nobody likes the weeds. I didn't expect anything different. I just wanted to try it. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the rest of this in with our 2 big steers that we're fattening up right now. And then I think I'll just go cut all the rest of the bales and leave them in the field so that they can decompose back into the earth or something along those lines. Might help if I put it in reverse. So I have made a pretty cool connection recently. I got in touch with a chicken farmer or rancher. Chicken ranch? I think it's a rancher. I think someone who raises chickens is a rancher. So they are going to be bringing me truckloads of chicken poo for pretty much the cost of diesel to get it out here. So pretty stoked on that because that means here pretty soon we're going to be starting to prep that field to actually plant good quality stuff and not this garbage. I may be wrong. Charlie the horse may be interested in this stuff. What do you think, girl? Is that a yes or a no? I can't tell. Oh. I'm gonna take that as a no. I don't know, maybe Charlie does like it. She did take a second bite from me. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the rest of those bales, try and find that part. Because honestly, I'm still racking my brain at where that thing disappeared to. It's gotta be in one of those bales somewhere. All right, well, I have cut every bale in this field except for this one right here. I'm gonna cross my fingers that it's in there. And then if it's not, I'm gonna bring the ride-on lawnmower up here. We're gonna mow this entire field, cut it down real small, because this is just driving me nuts. I don't know how that piece could just like disappear into thin air. So let's get this one cut open. Let's hope that it's in there. Come on. Not looking very promising. Come on. Half a bale to go. Please be in here. Man. Well, a little bummed out right now. I was really hoping it'd be in there. So Having said that, I do have to go free up the hose out of the old John Deere. Then once that's done, I'll take it down the shop. We'll jump in the Cub Cadet. I'm pretty sure it happened in that area right there. So I'm gonna start up there and just start working my way back and forth this way. And hopefully we find it. Ooh, that is tight. And there's water in it. All right, let's go ahead and get this down to the shop where I'm not afraid I'm gonna get bit by snakes. All right, well, up until now, I didn't know for sure if that piece was lodged in here somewhere. So as you guys can tell, it's just a huge mess right here. I just got done completely blowing this thing out. And I have looked over every square inch of this thing. So we're about to head up to the field. You guys can see I got the 0 turn over there. And the back tires are not holding air. They're getting pretty old. I'm like trying to slime the world right now. This thing does not hold air either. So we're gonna go ahead and punch a bunch of slime into this thing. I'm tired of having to use this jack stand to keep it up off this tire so we don't destroy it. So let's go ahead and get this thing filled up. I think it says, I don't remember how much for a car tire. 16 ounces. So we're gonna go ahead and just pump a bunch in there. I'm just guessing that like 1 pump equals 1 ounce. I don't know for sure. We're just gonna send it. I'll be honest, I haven't even been counting. So I'm gonna say that's enough. So as far as tires go, this one's a little bit on the weaker side. It's only rated for like 50 to 55 pounds. Survey says 40 pounds. Let's go a little bit more. So right now it's kicking it at 60. We're gonna go ahead and spin this tire bunch. Get all that slime mixed around. So I'm gonna leave that be for a couple hours. I'm gonna go start cutting some weeds. So I'm not much for motivational speeches, but sometimes persistence pays off, guys. I was getting pretty close to calling it quits. Literally had passed over all of this like 3 times. If you're somewhat observant, you guys probably noticed that this was sitting in my hand already. I was realistically probably gonna do about 2 or 3 more laps. And then all of a sudden I hear this thing banging around underneath the brush cutter. So I lift it up and there it is. We found it. So that means I gotta go down to the shop, finish up the baler, fix that guard. So I'm pretty excited because I'd already started looking for another one to replace it. And they're like $100 on eBay plus some ridiculous shipping fee. It's like $100, but now I don't have to do it. So wrapped up work a little bit early today. We're gonna go ahead and try and rectify this. This is the one that was in the field. You guys can tell it got hit just a couple times by the brush cutter. So for this repair, it's gonna get pretty complicated. Gonna need a 2x4 and most likely a dead blow hammer. But we may switch that out with a mini sledge. Next, we're gonna head on over to this fancy tool. All right, well, we got piece number 1 squared away. It's looking pretty fresh. It's almost looking brand new. We'll go ahead and get this guy set over here. And then this one right here has got a pretty gnarly twist to it that we're gonna have to work out a little bit. I think we need to straighten that up. I'm gonna go ahead and take the other guard off so we can match it up as best we can before we just kind of start guessing and figuring out where it needs to be. I'm pretty sure this angle is the same, but that definitely is gonna need to be straight. But we want it to be as uniform as possible. So let me go ahead and we'll take this one off and then we're gonna have to straighten that out too while we're at it. So it's pretty easy to tell how bad this one got banged up. Now you guys can see how this has like a radius on the entire piece right here, whereas this one is just straight as an arrow. So we're gonna have to get from this point to that point straightened out. And then this piece right here is like super twisted. So not a super complicated fix. It's just gonna be a lot of banging it with a hammer, putting it in the vise. But as it sits, we cannot put it back together like that, especially with this not meeting up very nicely. And then one of the things that I'm really curious about is if there's actually any missing pieces to this. I was wondering if like little tiny pieces got sheared off. We'll know once we get it welded back together if it's the same length as this one. But as it sits right now, it kind of looks like it might be a little bit shorter, like something else got trimmed off of here. But if it took me like 3 hours just to find this piece right here, finding this little piece, I think that would be next to impossible. So we're gonna hope that this is it. And if it's not gonna be the end of the world to add like another inch to it. That would actually be a very easy addition. And realistically, this entire piece right here would not have been that hard to make, but I just was worrying about down the road that if it got sucked up and driven into here somehow, and let's say the plunger hit it and shot it up into those gears, or something really, really bad happened, that's what I was trying to avoid. So that was the main reason I spent forever looking for this thing. Now that we found it, I don't have to worry about it. So we're gonna go ahead and get this one straightened out, then we'll get these two pieces welded together.
I've always dirtied everything that I found. This ain't no difference, so look at you now. And baby, cut yourself loose. Save all the things that I said that night. Playing it cool, but I never got it right. Baby, cut yourself loose.
So I think we're looking pretty good. I don't think we're missing that little sliver that I thought might have been missing. You guys can see they line up pretty good. I'm gonna have to hit that just a little bit with the grinder, and then we're gonna go ahead and clean all this up, make it nice shiny metal. But as far as the length goes, you guys can see we're right about there. And then coming up here, I think we're gonna be good too. And if they don't line up perfectly, we'll be able to fudge just a little bit. So let me go ahead and get these cleaned up.
I was mesmerized by your eyes. Keep me up every night. Keep me up every night. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. Now that you're gone, now that you're gone, now that you're gone. Now you know everything that I am. Caught in the palm, no backup plan. So baby, cut yourself loose. Cause a little trouble, don't shed a tear. Keep that sunny smile from ear to ear. And baby, cut yourself loose. I was mesmerized by your eyes. Keep me up every night. Keep me up every night. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. There ain't no satisfaction for me.
Now realistically, I could probably call it quits. I don't think this is gonna break, but just in case, we're gonna go ahead and reinforce it a little bit. I'm gonna cut off probably like, I'd say a 3-inch piece of this. This is pretty thick steel. Well, at least it's thicker than this. And then once we have the little square cut off, I'll just go ahead and weld it in here real quick.
Now that you're gone, now that you're gone, there ain't no satisfaction for me now. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. Now that you're gone.
So this repair has actually been pretty quick. It's gone a little bit faster than I thought it would, which usually does not happen around here. As soon as we weld up this rectangle, the repair is pretty much done.
Now that you're gone, now that you're gone.
All right, well, it's all fixed. Turned out to be a pretty good repair. We got a nice good weld all the way around that. I highly doubt this thing's gonna break in half right there. We're gonna go ahead and let this thing cool down for a little bit. It's still scorching hot. That's a lot of weld to cool down. We are gonna leave the clamps on there to try and help minimize any warping. Not that it's like super crucial, but as soon as that thing cools down, we'll get it painted. We'll take it over, we'll get it reinstalled. All right, well, I guess it's time for the real test now. We need to make sure this thing fits. Probably should have done that before I welded the heck out of it. I think it's going to. At least I'm gonna be optimistic that it does. So this side goes, it's probably still a little warm. All right, here we go, moment of truth. Let's see if she fits. Ooh, that's still hot. Come on. Oh yeah, I think we're looking good. All right, we're gonna do one quick more cycle to make sure that nothing hits right here. That this little bar right here is able to move freely, that it doesn't rub on it. So let's go ahead and see how it does. that is close, but I think we're good. And then we just got one little repair left to do, and that's where it was originally hooked up. You guys can see that it got bent pretty good, so we're gonna go ahead and straighten that back out. And then that one did not get damaged at all, so it should bolt right up. All right, well here we are. We're gonna put the last piece in. You guys can see I got that flange straightened out. We got Josh on the phone. You wanna say hi?
What it do? Oh, like, subscribe, share with your amigos. Much love.
Something like that. I lost my train of thought.
I forget always what you say.
Yeah. I totally forgot what I was gonna say next. Yeah. Let me go ahead and get this piece. Let me go ahead and get this piece fitted in. And then I'm gonna call it a wrap.
Wrap her up, dude. Send the mail.
Oh, this is a hard piece to put on though. Oh, plunger's in the way.
Bale hay, day.
Oh, that's the wrong way. You know, I think I finally figured out what's rubbing.
One of the fingers.
How'd you know?
I'm genius.
Wait, what fingers are you talking about?
The ones that sheared that piece off?
Oh, wrong.
Or is it the little three-prongy ones?
No, the fingers that pick the hay up off the ground. They rub on the corkscrew every once in a while.
Get this persuader out, dude.
Well, I need to open up that side panel and figure out why the corkscrew.
I like the design and everything about that thing, but gosh dang, man, to like be able to get in there and actually work on stuff. I saw you and Ryan struggling putting those bolts in.
Dude, it sucks.
I was like, what? What kind of design is that? That's wild.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's like we put it together piece by piece and then got an end result, you know?
Yeah, you're never supposed to take it apart, ever.
Never supposed to take it apart. International Harvester. Put it together once, never take it apart. I think that's their slogan.
That's why they're not famous anymore. Other than in Craig Morgan's song.
I've seen one of them International Harvester trucks, pickups.
Oh, yeah?
Not but Ford F-100s, F1s they used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
With the big IH logo on the grill. There's one out there in not Calipatria, but what's that one that's like up Salton Sea, Bombay Beach, towards Bombay Beach?
Oh, yeah.
When you go right into that one little shanty crackhead town.
Can we start with an N?
Got like, yeah. Neeland.
Neeland, yeah. Yeah. Man, it'd have been cool to see the Salton Sea back when it was cool.
I know, I say that all the time. Yeah. That thing's so big, I tell everybody all the time.
No! Gosh dang it. The last bolt. Turd Ferguson. All right, never fails. Last bolt of the day, just broke in half. So I'm having to clamp this in place so I can drive that one out because it's pretty much like rust glued in there and does not want to come out with my fingers, so. I know. Oh, this is really hard to get my fingers in that tunnel. Okay. wonder if I should use a longer bolt. That one's kind of short. I got the lathe all figured out though.
That's good.
She's a unit. So when you said I got some projects for that, what'd you mean?
Top secret, highly classified.
Okay.
Now we can build some stuff with that thing.
Yeah.
On our Texas trip, we'll make some good stuff, look up some things.
Or we just push it back to July when it's even hotter. I'm having a hard time deciding how much juice to give these things. Because I don't want them to come loose again.
Red box in.
How about rust tight?
You got that?
I'll just spray some salt water on there, and then they shouldn't come off anymore.
It shouldn't, in theory.
Yeah, you think that would work? What about you guys? Drop it down in the comments below.
Cross-thread that thing.
Crisscross. Crisscross applesauce.
Crisscross, brother.
Well,
She ain't ever now you cross-thread that thing.
she's a unit, guys. She's back together. Look at that. Look at that repair. That is high quality. That turned out nice. So I ended up getting a little bit sidetracked and we were not able to open this up to check out what's behind it, see what's going on. But I do got another early day tomorrow, so as soon as I get back, we'll get this thing opened up, check out what's going on, figure out why this thing is as loose as it is, kind of bounces up and down. Every once in a while it like hits one of these fingers, which isn't a huge deal, but I would like to see what's going on back there. But really the main reason that I want to get this opened up is I want to see what service points are back there, see what I can maintenance, see if anything needs maintenance. I know there's a rubber belt that hangs out back there, and a rubber belt that is at least 30 years old cannot be in that great of shape. So I do have an early day tomorrow, so as soon as I get back, we'll get this thing opened up, we'll inspect everything, we'll see what can be serviced, what needs to be serviced, what can be maintenanced. I know there's a rubber belt that hangs out back here, and a rubber belt that's at least 30 years old probably is on its way out. So we'll definitely replace that once we get it open, but I will see you guys tomorrow. So originally I thought yesterday was gonna be a short day. I thought I was gonna be home around 10 o'clock in the morning, and I ended up getting home probably around 7 o'clock at night. So this did not end up happening yesterday. But I went ahead and did some digging around on this before I actually picked up the camera. And turns out taking this cover off is not gonna be an easy feat. These are all flathead screws, which I hate flathead screws. I wish they were never invented. These are just an awful design. They always strip out. Like this one you guys can already see is starting to give way, and it just gets worse and worse. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and leave these alone. I went ahead and looked underneath. You guys can see that we have a big belt right here. I know it's very poorly lit down there. And originally I thought to myself, there's no way that a 30-year-old belt could still be in good shape. But this one has been pretty well protected from the elements. It's not really cracked at all. It seems to be in pretty good shape. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this undisturbed for now. When that belt does decide to give up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and grind all of these off. I'm gonna change out the style that they are. And instead of having just a free spinning nut on the backside, I will actually weld the nut in place to wherever it's going. So that way I don't have to get a wrench up in there and take this off simultaneously. I'll be able just to remove it from the outside. All right, well with that being said, I don't think there's a whole lot left for me to do on this machine, and I think it's pretty much ready to go. Originally I had wanted to build some sort of cover over this because I thought it needed one. I thought it was supposed to have one. I've been looking at other balers online to see something that I might be possibly missing, and all the ones that I see, they don't have a cover right here either. Like this one doesn't have one. So maybe it didn't need one. But the more I look at it, the more it makes sense, because it does have a ton of service points in here that I'm assuming need to be greased regularly. So having a cover over this would make life kind of difficult. But anyways, this thing's pretty much done. The only thing I have left to do is I need to fix that pin that I broke that goes on the John Deere to be able to pull this thing for that tow bar. Right here's the little piece that I broke off. Should not be too hard to repair. I actually don't even think it's welded from this side. I think it's only got weld from that side, which is gonna make this even easier. So originally I was gonna do all the work right here, but I think putting this in the vise will make it a little bit easier to go ahead and get this piece off. We're just basically gonna grind all that weld off, and I'm hoping that piece just drops out. All right, let's see how we're looking here. We got 0.439. Got this bolt right here. Close, not quite the same. I think I may have found the solution. I got an old head gasket bolt from I think the first Cummins that I ever. So this is the piece that I originally broke off. They're really close in size. You guys can see it measures about 0.44. And then we have the head gasket bolt, which if we measure that, it comes in at 0.435. So I think it's a little bit smaller, and I think it's gonna work just great. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit this head gasket bolt with the wire wheel. We're gonna get it prepped for welding, get it nice and clean. And then once we get it in there, I think I'll cut it to fit, and then we'll drill the hole in it for the cotter pin. So definitely not the finest welds that I've ever done, but they're gonna work. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see my little scribe mark right there. We're gonna go ahead and cut it off with the cutoff wheel. Then we gotta get a hole drilled through this. I'm actually gonna put this one in the freezer too. Look at her go. Oh, she is toasty. She's still melting away. Might be okay enough to handle now. So I debated back and forth a couple times in my head on whether or not I should use this hitch pin or this hitch pin. This one obviously takes up a little bit more space. There's not a whole lot of room up underneath the tractor where this actually goes in. And the bigger you make the hole, the weaker the sidewalls become. So it's kind of like a give and take. I ended up going with this one. I think there's gonna be enough meat on the sides for that little pin to be okay, because it's not really doing any work. This pin right here is doing the bulk of it. So as you guys can tell, this pin fits in there very nicely. We've got a little bit of wiggle room, which is gonna be nice because it is gonna get dirty and gunked up down there. And odds are some dirt's gonna get packed in there. So we don't wanna like be fighting to take this thing in and out. So I think this is gonna be just perfect. We're gonna use this pin. I am gonna pick up a bunch of these because I know this is something that I'm gonna lose, because once we get up and going, we're gonna be constantly switching out attachments. I'm gonna have to constantly be adjusting things. So this is definitely gonna be an item that gets lost over and over and over again. So this piece is pretty much done. I'm gonna go ahead and slice off this little burr right here so I don't destroy my fingers on down the road. And then we'll paint it purple, because why not? I still got the can of purple paint floating around here somewhere. Try and prevent any rust in the future. And then once that's all done, we'll get the John Deere in here. We will get that bar reinstalled, and we will pull the hay baler on out of here, and it's done. All right, let's make it pretty. Oh, work of art. Let's go ahead and paint this guy while we're at it. Just beautiful. Almost looks factory. Then we got this little piece over here. All right, let's go ahead and see if old Trusty will start up on her own this morning. Highly doubt it, but one can hope. Ugh. One of these days I'll fix that starter. Woo! Come on. There. All right, so let's go ahead and make our way underneath the tractor, see if this beautiful little piece that we made is gonna work. If I remember correctly, that thing needs to be sticking way out to be able to hook up to the baler. So we're gonna go second to last, I think. Let's see. Well, so far so good. Looking promising. Not a whole lot of room down here to film and show you guys what's going on. All right, let's see if we can get this cotter pin in there. Proving to be difficult. Maybe from this way? Come on, girl, you can do it. Oh, we got her. She's in there. All right, well, I think we're looking pretty good. It's actually sticking out a little bit. So if it fights us in the future, we could probably just like stick a screwdriver in there and pop it out. So when we were testing the baler for the first time, obviously we need this little pin right here. And I had actually just taken some baling twine and wrapped it around here a bunch to hold this piece up. And that's what was holding that pin in place. So this is much more official. This is gonna work way better. But let's go ahead and get hooked back up to the baler so we can go ahead and pull it out of the shop. All right, well, I think it's about time to go ahead and wrap up this video. The baler is pretty much back to 100%. Everything on it works. That belt is in pretty good shape, so I'm not worried about it. And other than that, everything's just fine. Even the tire with the slime that I put in it seems to be holding air. I am still gonna put a block underneath there to hold it up, just in case it does go flat, because I do not come over here that often. And I'm gonna try and save that tire as best I can. All right, so just to give you guys a quick heads up on what we're gonna be working on in the next video. We are going to be working on the hay rake, which is still up in the pasture up there. I need to go grab it, but the one that piques my interest the most is this guy right here. This is the sickle style mower, which to me is probably the most intimidating attachment out here. This thing is super gnarly looking. It's got all these sharp teeth on it. It's got these blades that move back and forth. And supposedly everything on this is 100%, but it hasn't been used in at least 13 years. So excited to work on this, but I'm gonna put the screws in this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you could do me a huge solid like, subscribe, share this with your amigos, hit that notification button down below so you can continue to see the progress on everything else we got going on, and I will see you guys next time. Later.